What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching a Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. I checked out The Last Blockbuster. This is a documentary, a feature-length documentary on Netflix, and this is a documentary about The Last Blockbuster. It is a Blockbuster video store that is in Bend, Oregon, a town that I've only heard about just about a week ago after I watched the film. And the Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon was one of the last few Blockbusters aside from the last 3 in Alaska. But before that, there were 9,000 stores, I guess, all across the world, mostly in North America. But in any case, this was a great and nostalgic documentary. I freaking loved it. I loved every minute of it. I don't watch that many documentaries, but this one was definitely an interesting subject matter because it brought me back. It brought me back to when Blockbuster was around on a Friday night. I would go to, Blockbuster Video with my dad, and we'd just spend at least 15 minutes. Some times I even spent like half an hour, maybe an hour. Okay, maybe not an hour. Some people spent an hour. But you just spend a lot of time looking for a movie. And I love that it brought back all those nostalgic things. You know, you go there on a weekend, you go all over the Blockbuster, then you pick up the cassette, you look at the back, you read it, then you put it back down. Then you look at another film, and then you put it back. You know, most of the time, we don't even know what to rent. Other times, we know what we want. We see that there's like 50 copies of the same movie, the new release. We pick it up and we go because we got what we wanted. But, you know, sometimes you can't just rent one movie. You got to rent 2 movies. And I love that this documentary covers all that. It literally covered all the bases. It covered every single aspect about the fun of Blockbuster. Not only that, it talked about a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. It talked about all the people involved. It's got a it paid very much a lot of attention to detail about everything that was involved. The origins of Blockbuster, all the people that were involved in its eventual demise to the very last store, and all the different companies and corporations involved in it. It was the rise and fall of not only an era, but an empire. And I love watching these types of stories, you know, the rise and fall of an empire, because you love how they rise up. That's the most interesting part. But the second most interesting part is what they did wrong. Everything was going their way, but what did they do wrong to make it go downhill? They answer all those questions, and they have a lot of really great people interviewed in this series. They have footage. They have vintage footage of commercials, Blockbuster commercials. There was just so many aspects of it involved. Like, there's so many like little tiny details that shows you that it's more than just a video store. There's so much more to it, and it also explains the history of like how renting movies came about, not just from Blockbusters, but video stores in general. It talks about how they were different from other video stores and how they closed out all the competition. It's so nostalgic. I really loved it. And I think that if you're born in that era, you will really enjoy it. This is a film this is a documentary film that, like, you will enjoy every minute of it. There's nothing where they did wrong, because they hit all the right notes. And, you know, you're just full of the feels, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's perfect. It's a great documentary. It's a great subject matter, and it just makes you feel, it brings you back to that era. So that was awesome. Like, it's a documentary, but by the end of the film, like at the end of it all, I was smiling. I was smiling because it just made me feel all positive and giddy, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's all I got to say. 10 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.